The Dead by Daylight developers are killing their game.
Man, I'm dead.
Now you may ask, why is this? Well, it's not because of the skill-based matchmaking. It's not because of the underwhelming or forgettable new killers. It's not even because of the infamous blood point gifs that bhvr seem to dish out whenever there's a bug in their game.
This is worthless.
It is actually something else. So in case you haven't noticed, recently there's been a lot of drama in the Dead by Daylight community. For me, this actually all started exactly 2 months ago today when Scott Jund released his patch 7.0 video. In the video, Scott talks about a fake patch that he made up, and he talks about some of the changes that he would put into the game, and overall, this video and the changes that it talked about was actually very well received by the Dead by Daylight community, the player base, and the fan base in general, as well as other content creators. What was interesting about this though, was that a video then went round, I think a couple of weeks later, of a former Dead by Daylight developer reacting to this video on his stream. And what was made crystal clear, for me anyway, in that video and the way that this guy reacted, was that discussion is not an option. There is no room for you to make recommendations about the game, and this was all based on just how he reacted to Scott's recommendations. He frequently laughed at Scott, he poked jabs at him based on the stuff he was saying, and more importantly, he either completely ignored or completely disregarded everything he said. And the overall effect of this, for me, was that the developers seemed out of touch and, quite frankly, a little bit arrogant and egotistical. In other words, it seemed like the attitude of this former developer was that bhvr could do no wrong in the things that they are putting into the game. Now, of course, this was a former developer, so his views don't accurately represent the current views of the company, and you kind of hoped that it was just one person's viewpoint. But then, recently, the Dead by Daylight developers did a Q&A live stream over on Twitch. Now, in this Q&A, the developers said a lot of stuff. They answered a lot of questions and they talked about some of the stuff that's upcoming in the game. But what was really clear and what really garnered a lot of criticism from quite prominent Dead by Daylight content creators and the player base in general was that the developers seem out of touch with their game. It seemed like they didn't understand the nuances of the game or just weren't interested in actually looking at the nuances of the game and how that affected, most prominently, skill level. Now, of course, the most notable of these content creators who had issue with the things that were said was Dowsy. And Dowsy actually made a couple of tweets and a couple of videos criticizing what was said in that live stream. And in response to Dowsy's criticism, bhvr responded by removing the Twitch shirt cosmetics from his survivors in his game. This was apparently due to him, and I quote, targeting a member of the development team. Obviously, this is all a bit ridiculous and a bit petty and a bit funny, but as Dowsy quite rightly says in one of his most recent videos, there is something a bit more sinister at play here. What bhvr have essentially done here, as Dowsy points out, is responded to criticism with punishment. In other words, what they have essentially told Dead by Daylight content creators and the Dead by Daylight player and fan base in general is that when it comes to discussions about the game, your voice will not be heard. And if it is heard, it better be positive or it will be silenced in whatever way they can achieve. Obviously, Dowsy isn't going to be silenced by them removing his Twitch shirts, but still, it felt like the implication of their actions was very clear. And that is what I think the devs are doing to kill their game. They are not listening to their fan base. They are not listening to their player base. They are not paying attention to what we are saying. And if they are listening to it, they quickly disregard it and only focus on their own ideas and bulldozing whatever they have planned forward as if they can do no wrong. And like, with everything else going on in the game right now, with all of the issues the game is facing in the community, with the bugs, with just the player base in general dropping, as you may have seen recently, it feels like the least bhvr can do is listen to us and understand what we are saying. Now, obviously, I don't expect any of the developers to see this video, but if they do, I guess, like, what I would say is content creators, especially people like Dowsy and people of that level, these guys know your game better than the majority of the player base. And not only that, but they put hours and hours and significant amounts of money and love into your game. They have chosen your game to create content for and to showcase to both existing players and new players. It feels like not listening to those people at the very least is a severe misstep. And to the player base in general, I think what I would say as well is don't be afraid to speak out. Like, don't be afraid to say what you're feeling about the game, because obviously it's important what you're feeling about the game, and it's important that you enjoy the game and still want to be a part of the game and feel listened to. Because let's face it, they may be able to take away our Twitch shirts, but
They'll never take our freedom!
But what do you guys think of this? Let me know in the comments. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. And thank you so much for taking the time to watch this. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
So let me break it all down for you. I ain't never giving up, I ain't never giving up. I'm taking that crown from you.